Hey everyone, Dave here for Peace Camera. In this week's video, we're going to unbox and do a first impressions video of the camera everybody's been waiting for, the Sony A7 III. Now, if you remember, about a month ago, I did the preview on this when the camera was announced at WPPI. We have ordered them. We now are getting them some in. And we already have a wait list going for these, but I wanted to do an unboxing and first impressions of this, as I am personally very excited about this camera, as I'm going to be buying one of these for myself. So let's go ahead and unbox this camera. Sony is calling it their basic camera, but there's nothing basic about this. So up top, we got your instruction manuals, warranty information, pulling back the flap. We have the strap, the new bigger Z battery, and then we have the USB charger, which, Sony, this is something you need to fix. That's one thing I disliked about the cameras. You only come with a little USB charger and a cable to plug it into the camera to charge it. I really think you need to put an actual charger in the box with this camera. It's not that hard to do. And let us take the battery out and actually charge it instead of charging it through a cable, although you can purchase them separately. So let's go ahead and look at the main item in the show here, and here's the new A7 III camera. Let me set the box aside. Feels very nice in the hand, feels almost exactly like my A7 II that I shoot with, but I have an A7R2 here. Just for comparisons, they look almost exactly the same, but the grip is just a little bit deeper to accommodate that bigger battery, which is really nice to have. But other than that, it feels quite the same. So on the back of the camera, we have our new joystick that we did not have on the A7R2, A7 II, or A7S2. We got a little nicer rear command dial here. The record button has moved to just underneath the electronic viewfinder. On the side here, we have dual SD card slots, which one of them being a UHS-2 card slot to take advantage of the much faster reading and writing cards, especially if you're going to be doing video. This is really great to have. On the other side, we got access to all our ports. You have HDMI, headphone jack, you got your multi-port for charging the camera, you have super speed USB-C connection. Here we have your microphone jack. So lots of connections on here. And then on the bottom, it's a port for the much bigger battery, which will now do over 700 shots per charge, comparing to about half that for the A7R2, S2, and A7 II. So let's go over some of the other features. The camera features a 24.2 backside illuminated full frame sensor with in-body image stabilization. This is a brand new sensor that Sony has designed for this camera. It takes the autofocus system from the A9 and puts it in here, which means you will get 693 phase detection autofocus points covering 93% of the full image area, and 425 contrast detect autofocus points. This will work great with eye autofocus, and if you never use eye autofocus, having that turned on when you're in continuous autofocus is really nice, as I set one of the buttons to that, and then when I press that, it's going to immediately find the subject's eye and track it. So if they're moving, they're twirling around, it's going to find it and log onto that, so you'll get nice sharp focus every single time. Sony's claiming 15 stops of dynamic range on this camera, which is amazing. Your ISO range is going to be from 100 to 51,200 and expandable up to 204,800, which is basically about a stop shy of what the A7S II can do. It'll shoot 10 frames per second in either with the mechanical shutter or the electronic shutter, so you can do completely silent shooting if you want to. The back tilt screen, the 3-inch screen, is now a touch screen. If you want to have touch functions, personally, I don't like touch screens on the back, but that is just me. Now let's talk about video. This will do full frame 4K video at 24 or 30 frames per second, 1080 HD up to 120 frames per second with no pixel binning. It's going to have your S-Log2 and S-Log3 profiles in here, which are a nice flat profile, which allows you to get most out of that 15 stop dynamic range when you're color grading in post. It will also shoot in HDR, which is hyperlog gamma profile, so you get a nice beautiful color profile straight out of the camera when you're shooting for HDR TVs. And now for the best part of this is the price. Even though they're calling this their basic camera, it only costs $2,000, $1999, and I think that's a fantastic price considering the new A7R III is $3,200 and We're waiting to see what the S3 is going to be when that is announced later this year, but I still think this, for $2,000, this is a bargain. This is an amazing camera. I call it the baby A9. They have the focus system from the A9, the much bigger battery, 4K HDR video, in-body image stabilization. There's so much about this camera that I love that I will be purchasing one of these for myself. So if you'd like to come on down and see this camera or get on the list to get one, come on down and see us. We're at 5039 Falls of Neuse Road in the Quail Corners Shopping Center, corner of Falls of Neuse and Millbrook, or give us a call here at the store, 919-836-2222. So if you like this video, please do hit the like button. It really does mean a lot to us. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as I put out new videos every single Friday. And leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this A7 III. Do you want one, just like I do? And now it's going to do it for this week's video, and I'll see you all next week.